everybody, welcome to today's book review, which is going to be about The Curse of Greg. Now, before I get into this book, I need to fill you on the first book. Basically, Greg drank a special tea potion brewed by his dad, and he suddenly finds out that he's a dwarf. This thing sets out a chain of unfortunate events that involves killing the elves' main leader, rescuing his dad, which he does in the end. I'm sorry if I spoiled the first book for you. My sincerest apologies. And basically, magic has suddenly returned to Earth now after this whole keychain of disastrous events that Greg has set off. So the second book is mainly they've been trying to stop, and by they I mean Greg and his new friends, Ari, Egan, Lake, just to name a few. There's a couple more too. They've been stopping monsters because with the return of magic, monsters are coming back to life, all the way from creepy krakens to two-headed monsters to sea mermaids that will chop your head off at a moment's notice. So the second book, as I said, the main character is Greg, but we have a lot of focus here on as well as his best friend, Edwin. There's a lot of mention of that, and there is actually a point in the book where he gets imprisoned by Edwin. The main story of the book is he hears rumors while on this mission of befriending a giant stone troll, which is made out of stone, as you may have imagined, called Stony, which is sort of self-explanatory, if you know what I mean. Tells him that Edwin and the rest of the elves, Edwin is his best friend at school in the first book, but he finds out Edwin is actually an elf, which is the long arch nemesis enemies of dwarves. And so basically he finds out that the leader of the New Elves organization, after the death of Edwin's parents, which he didn't directly kill them, of course, but he set off an event that involved their death. So basically he finds out that these guys are grouping in New Orleans, and he gets captured by the elves, but then suddenly they face a common enemy, which is a group of rogue elves. They work by themselves, and they are against both Edwin's group and also the dwarves, and they are the most dangerous throughout the story. In the end, they end up teaming up, but we'll see whether they actually succeeded in the battle or not. So, as I said, Greg needs the help of his favorite blood axe, which is basically a thing that keeps slicing and chopping things up with immense power. One of the most powerful artifacts ever created, called the Blood Letter, who also can telecommunicate, I guess, with Greg. So why do I like this character out of all these guys? Well, main one, he's sort of funny. He cracks lame jokes, and his very presence with Greg makes the story kind of funner. However, I have to say, having read all three books now, I still enjoy the first one the most. I mean, the second and the third are not bad books, but it gets tired after a while because it's basically the same story, to be honest, repeating, with the introduction of some new characters that doesn't make much of a difference, except for the third book where they introduced, some more characters. That was refreshing to an extent, but the second book is a bit repetitive. But it is a good book in general. I would recommend you read it. So on a scale of 4 to 5, I would give it 4.5 stars. Now, I did this rating early because I want you to have an impression of the book before I actually get into discuss the pros and cons of it, just for the sake of this conversation. So, what are the pros about the book? Very action-packed. There's constant events, a great element of suspense. I like how the moment obstacle. The moment Greg basically just discovers Edwin's in New Orleans, suddenly he has to face this evil monster which is undefeatable. After he faces the evil monster, he gets catched, and then after that, he gets attacked by even more monsters. So this is constant element of suspense in this book. And thanks for watching Chapter 1.